speculums in gynecology. They are known as speculums. These are the two speculums. The name of this speculum is same speculum and is focus it. The name of this speculum is the Cusco's speculum. It has got a ring and it has got two blades. This speculum is known as Cusco's self-retaining vaginal speculum. And this speculum, this is also a vaginal speculum. This is known as Sims double-bladed vaginal speculum. Both these instruments are used for visual inspection of the cervix or internal inspection of the cervix and vagina. Along with the same speculum, we need to use one more instrument that is known as anterior vaginal wall retractor. This is a big instrument. This is introduced along with the same speculum. Suppose I introduce the speculum inside, I introduce the anterior vaginal wall retractor and retract the vaginal wall and identify any pathology in relation to the cervix or vagina. So these two instruments are used together. The problem of this instrument is it is not self-retaining. I need an assistant to hold the instrument. And I can use the anterior vaginal wall retractor, but assistance is required for the use of this speculum. However, Cusco's speculum does not need an assistant to use. It has got a screw here. It has got a screw here where if I unscrew it, I close the instrument, put it inside, then open it, fix it at a specific distance and leave it as such. So it is self-retaining instrument. This instrument is self-retaining. I don't need an assistant. Simultaneously I can do, so I am free. Both my hands are free. I can go ahead with the procedures like removal of ISTD I can do, colposcopy I can do, cytological. These are the only three things I can practice with this and visual inspection of the cervix. That is the only thing I can do with the use of. This is a routine instrument used for colposcopy. However, this instrument is used for a lot of purposes like operations also, examination also, vaginal operations also. I can go ahead with this instrument. The viva on this instrument asked is, what is the instrument? What are the uses of the instrument? This same speculum can be used in the practice, in the obstetric practice, in the gynecological practice. In gynecology, we identify the status of the cervix by we look for erosion of the cervix, condition of the os, whether the os is closed or it is open, it is patulous, slit-like. Then thread peeping, IUCD thread peeping out through the cervix, I can identify and I can confirm that copper T is in place or multi-load is in place. Then the exocervix and endocervix I can inspect. If there is erosion around the endocervix, that is known as endocervicitis. It is usually due to chlamydia infection and gonococcal infection. Exocervix I can inspect on post-speculum examination for the possibilities of infections, atrophy of the genital tract and a descent also, descent of the organ. If there is a descent, normal position of cervix is at ischial spines. If it descends below that, then there is a first degree descent. If it descends up to the introitus, it is second degree. Like that I comment about the descent in the vagina. Rest of the cases, the cervix is lying outside. There I don't need a speculum to be put. But for diagnosis of first degree descent, I need to use this instrument. Then about the condition of the cervix, exocervix, cervical infections I can identify and vaginal infections. So what are the vaginal infections I can diagnose with the use of simple speculum? Clinically I can diagnose trichomonar infection where the discharge is frothy green color. Monilial infection, the discharge is thick curdy discharge. In bacterial vaginosis, there is no redness of the vagina as such, but whole of the vaginal wall is covered with the discharge. It is white milky discharge. So in bacterial vaginosis, it is milky discharge. In monilial infection, it is thick curdy, and in trichomonar infection is frothy with bubbles, green color. Mucopurulent discharge is usually because of gonococci or other bacterial infections. So So these are the different types of infections I can diagnose simple by hospital examination. One more condition I can suspect and diagnose is atrophic vaginitis. The loss of rugosities of the vagina and the vaginal wall is atrophic, the cervix is also small, atrophic. It may bleed also on touching the introducing speculum. So atrophic vaginitis can be diagnosed. The other things which I can do with the use of this instrument is different tests I can do, like I can apply an acetic acid test, apply acetic acid and pick up the acetoid area, that is known as acetic acid test or VIA, means visual inspection with acetic acid test. Second test which I can practice is a routine on screening for cervical lesions or pathology, cervical cancers is application of the Schiller's test. Application of the Lugol's iodine and identifying iodine negative area means it is an abnormal area. There is abnormal epithelium. There may be cervical intraepithelial neoplasia or there can be even cancer, microscopic, which is not visible. So one test which I can do is acetic acid test, second is Schiller's test. Third is colposcopy. With colposcopy, with this instrument also, both of them I can use. On colposcopy, I can identify punctations, mosaic pattern, abnormal vascularity, and after application of acetic acid, whether there are acetoid areas or not. This is how I suspect the pre-malignant conditions and malignant conditions, and simultaneously I can take a biopsy from this. For any procedure to do, I have to apply this instrument that is known as Ellis tissue forceps. Along with that, under anesthesia, this other forceps can also be used. The name of the instrument is Valsalon forceps. So these two instruments are used to hold the cervix. In pregnancy, this instrument has got sharp tip, so I cannot use in pregnancy because in pregnancy it is vascular, it gets traumatized and bleeds a lot. So this instrument is not used in pregnant uterus. However, in these cases I use the Ellis tissue forceps. This is the use of this instrument causes pain. This instrument will not cause pain. So along for doing any operating procedure over the cervix, I have to use these two instruments along with the same speculum and carry out the procedure. This is how. The minor procedures or operations which can be done with this is cervical biopsy, cervical exfoliative cytology or pap test, then dilatation in curettage, suction evacuation in obstetric cases, then
therapeutic curettage,
diagnosis, endometrial biopsy,
therapeutic curettage,
evacuations also can be done. Other major operations which can be done along with the use of this instrument is Fothergill's operation, vaginal hysterectomy, non-descent vaginal hysterectomy, even radical hysterectomies can be done through vaginal route. Extraperitoneal pelvic lymphadenectomy can be combined with the vaginal procedures. One of the operations, different cervical biopsies also can be taken. Cauterizations of the cervix can be done, like cryocauterization, electric cauterization, laser cauterization. These are the minor operating procedures. That is how this instrument is very much useful in gynecology. In obstetric cases, I can diagnose the cervical incompetence, open os, products peeping out. If the os is closed, there is little bleeding, slight spotting, then she is a case of threatened abortion. If os is open, the products are peeping out, bleeding is in excess, she is a case of inevitable abortion. If os is closed, there is dark color bleeding PV, then probably she is a case of missed abortion. In vesicular mode, sometimes if the vesicles are in the process of expulsion, I can identify them with the use of speculum. So this is how so many conditions in obstetric also I can suspect and keep my differential diagnosis clinically even in OPD examination, simple examinations. Other gynecological conditions which are diagnosed with this instrument are related to prolapse. Prolapse of the anterior vaginal wall, prolapse of the posterior vaginal wall. Descent of the anterior vaginal wall of anterior vaginal wall, upper tooth is known as cystocele. So with the use of this speculum, syn speculum, not the visco speculum, syn speculum, if I put the instrument, there is a bulge of anterior vaginal wall which is visible, and there is loss of rugosities of the anterior vaginal wall, then it is a cystocele. The bigger is the size of the cystocele or bulge. If it is 2 cm, I write down 2 plus. If it is 3 cm, I write down 3 plus, like that. So I can identify cystocele, that is one way. Second, I can identify enterocele, like I put a speculum, go on withdrawing it, simultaneously ask the lady to cough. If there is a bulge in the posterior fornix, that bulge is because of laxity and herniation of the intestine, bowel, to the lax uterosacrals, and on coughing there is a bulge. So that bulge is diagnosed only by speculum examination. So I can diagnose enterocele, I can diagnose cystocele. These two conditions are diagnosed by simple speculum examination. However, rectocele is only diagnosed by PR examination. If I put a speculum and try to diagnose rectocele, no, it will get covered. The blade will cover the posterior part of the vagina. That's why rectocele cannot be diagnosed with the use of this instrument. I need to do per rectal examination, then only rectocele can be diagnosed. One more thing is, if I am interested in diagnosing urethrocoele, then I have to just examine the lady, ask the patient to cough. On coughing, if there is a leakage of few drops of urine, means she has got stays incontinence or she has got urethrocoele. This is how on OPD basis only we suspect the things. One more test which can be added in the list is the tree swab test, which is done for the cervicovaginal fistula to identify whether it is a ureteric fistula or bladder fistula. So we put 3 swabs, big swabs, sterile one, in the vagina. One goes at the vault, the second goes in the mid part of the vagina, and third goes at the introitus, the lower part of the vagina. Pin the bladder with a catheter, put the catheter in the bladder, put methylene blue and the normal saline, fill the bladder with say about 100 ml of normal saline with methylene blue direct, so it gets color. Then, after say about 10 or 20 minutes, if I remove the swabs, if I remove the first swab, if it is stained, means there is fistula at the lower part of the vagina. If the second swab is stained, blue color, then it is mid-vaginal fistula or juxtacervical fistula. If the swab at the top of the vagina or vault of vagina gets soaked but not stained, it is ureteric fistula. This is how we conduct 3 swab tests to identify whether we are dealing with a ureteric fistula or a cervicovaginal fistula. So you must be used to these instruments. This is known as sponge holding process. It is used to clean the vagina before any procedure. So I can put a swab here and cleaning of the vagina, introitus, abdomen, or I can hold the anterior lip of cervix with this. So you remember, this instrument also can be used along with the same speculum in place of this anterior vaginal wall retractor. So we have learned today 3 plus 3, 6 instruments. There should not be any confusion about this instrument. This instrument is a blunt and sharp curate. It is not the anterior vaginal wall retractor. So try to understand, it has got a curated edges. This is just serrated, and this big instrument will not go in the cervix. This goes in the cervical canal. We remove the endometrial piece with this as well. So this is out of question. So you know 6 instruments today. Details about this sponge holding forceps. One more thing I want to comment. Can I? Time permits? Okay. This is the sponge holding forceps. It's important using obstetrics in the labor room for identifying the cervical tear or laceration. That is known as exploration of cervix. But, however, it should be done under anesthesia. You call the anesthetist in the labor room or you shift the patient in the operation theatre. So, exploration of the cervix to identify tear in the cervix is done under anesthesia. So, here I need two instruments. One instrument I apply, then next instrument I apply to the side, and the whole of the rim of the cervix I press like this. So I go on pressing. Wherever is the tear, there I cannot catch it. So serial application of the sponge holding forceps along the rim of the cervix, I can identify the tear and can stitch it. So the purpose of asking viva on sponge holder is the viva goes on traumatic PTH. So the major use in obstetrics is for identifying cervical tear or lacerations. These are the 6 instruments. You should be well versed with this instrument, and few questions, basic questions and answers for this I told you today. Any details, if you are interested, you can ask me, and you please go through this and communicate to me on a large scale. I want it on a large scale. Just 2-3 students opening the thing, then the things will not be satisfied. Okay? Thank you so much. I'll prepare for the next video clipping also next time. Please communicate me, give me the feedback about this. Thank you.